QuickBooks Pro Plus Desktop 2022 Memorized Report Group Setup. Let's get into it with Intuit's QuickBooks Pro Desktop 2022. If you have access to OneNote, would like to follow along, icon left-hand side, topic introductions 2140 Memorized Report Group Setup. Also note, take a look at the immersive reader tool, topic introductions, also in the text area, same name, same number, but with transcripts. Transcripts that can be translated into multiple languages, either listened to or read in them. Same name and number as a presentation as well. Topic introductions being designed to give an introduction to the topic. Provide screenshots and links when applicable. Accounting background to complement the presentations in QuickBooks. Screenshots being able to be used as you follow along with the presentations if you don't have access to the software at that time. Closing the icon, we've got our information up top. We're looking at a screenshot related to a balance sheet where we made a conspicuous change, that being changing the title to red. If we wanted to memorize this report, so we didn't have to then make that change every time we ran it, we can go to the memorize item up top. If we went there, we'd have this option to memorize that report. We can memorize it into some grouping on the right-hand side. If we did so, then you could go to the reports drop-down, and then you have your memorized groups and then your memorized items on the right-hand side. What we would like to do now is customize this memorized area by going to the reports drop-down, report center. Here's the report center. We're in the memorized items on the second tab. We have our memorized items that have been set up by Intuit. You might want to customize these, however, by editing the memorized list. So we edit the memorized list up top. Then we'll see a breakout looking like this. So we have the same kind of categories now that we saw up top here on the left-hand side, but now we see the reports that are in those categories. We're going to go through and actually delete all of these items in there so we can put in the ones that we would like by selecting the item, going to the item or drop down, rise up at the bottom because it's going up here, and delete all those items that are in there to have a blank setup, a blank slate, so we can do what we want with it. Then we're going to add a new group. We could add the group by name. That might be the first thing you think about, especially if you're sharing the software with others, so you can kind of distinguish your reports from others' reports. So then if you were to go back here and say, I want to memorize to a particular area, you can save it to your name. And then when you go back into your reports, it'll be under the name group, under your name, and you can have your reports there, which is nice. You also might want to put other groups. One suggestion might be to have your groups to be set up by the reports that you're going to give either to supervisors or to clients, that typically happening at the end of the month, at the end of the quarter, at the end of the year. And if you organize your reports in such a way that they're formatted the way you would like to have them to give them to somebody at the end of those periods, it might make the process of printing them out easier. You also might want to add reports for your internal use so that they're formatted for your use. That's one way you might kind of organize your reports in the memorized area. So now I can save this report, for example, to the client month-end reports, imagining this is a report that is formatted in such a way that I want to provide it to the clients. And then I can go back in there and save these reports or organize these reports in a format that I can then provide them to clients. In the following presentation, we'll talk more about that organization and saving and memorize the reports to those actual groups.